Hey everyone, this is Diamond Rivera, and you're here for another episode of the Live Discussions with Diamond podcast. And before we get started, this episode is sponsored by Untitled Chapter Radio, and you can catch this episode along all of the others on Spotify and other streaming platforms. And today, people, we're taking this podcast all the way to the West Coast to a person for me has inspired me over this past year or two and realizing his rich history in the Los Angeles dance scene. And I have the privilege and the honor of having the one and only Alejandro Delatorre.
Ooh, thank you so much, man. That's the introduction, bro. I'm a little
Hey,
nervous right now.
had to think about that. And trust me, for me, I feel like I'm standing in front of Facebook royalty because I remember that background when you had the COVID talks, and we'll get into that. But
Oh
Alejandro,
man, those days.
for me, having you on it means a lot. Me starting my podcast journey, um, getting to have conversations with you definitely have been a big influence in that. And now we're hitting 2022 and also seeing you coming back into your scene, which we'll get into. But it is a pleasure having you. And I definitely think today we'll have some interesting conversations indeed.
Let's have these conversations. And you know what? It's a pleasure, man. Watching you grow, watching you what you're doing, you're taking this podcast to a whole new level, man. So it's excited to just see your progression and see you work. And yeah, man, in some senses, Los Angeles has changed. I have changed. And these adaptations are not new, man. They just have to keep it going forward.
Absolutely. And, of course, we know we're living in a post-pandemic world in a sense. But for me, I always, with every one of my guests, love to take it back, way back when, before COVID, but before, cell phones are really a big thing. Kind of
It's
help
true.
us understand who Alejandro Delatorre is before it all, before Granada, before everything.
Damn, bro. Dancing for me started in college at PCC. I started doing study abroad programs, and I went to Europe for the first time, right? And I didn't do any dancing, which was weird. And when I got back, there was a club. A friend of mine dared me to go with him. I was very cocky by it. I was like, I dance Mexican music, I dance rancheras, I can do whatever, blah blah blah. And we walked into that club, and I had no idea what was going on. I was like, whoa, this is interesting. Just started with that. It started basically dancing with the PCC Candela Club. They are still in existence till this day. And it was really cool. I started with just taking classes.
Yeah.
And eventually you transition into different roles. And I ended up being the president for a while, which was pretty cool. But once I changed colleges, I ended up finding a job at the Granada because we used to go to this little spot called the Cuban Bistro. And right around the corner was Granada. And that's how I got started. And I was there for about 13, 14 years until just after the pandemic, and now, doing my own thing now.
Absolutely. So, you talking about in college kind of getting introduced into that, and then, of course, getting introduced to Granada. But for many people, especially on the East Coast like myself, I've had the luxury and the pleasure of going to California, specifically LA, about 8-9 times out of my lifetime.
Right.
But, on a weekend. But for me, a question I have for you is help many other people understand from your perspective on what LA is like.
Right now, currently?
I would just say pre-pandemic for you over those years.
Pre-pandemic, and if we're talking if we're talking maybe 10 years ago,
yeah,
LA salsa was on top, like great. It was amazing. Bachata came in, and now it's like taking over. Like how they talk about that, bachata's taking over.
Yes.
It has done really well. There is people like myself and others who are giving that salsa push and the mambo push, and we're gonna do that. That's one of my main goals, is to do that. But it has done really well, and there is a lot of great events. Like the city is saturated with it, and I think it's something that has transitioned since there was a couple of gentlemen who were doing this before. Steven Steakhouse really revolutionized the whole aspect of it. But prior to all of that, bro, and I know a lot of LA people know that Stevens was the salsa place. Literally, Tuesday nights were the best on two dancing nights. It was amazing. Those who know those jam sessions will recall what it was. Now it's a bit different. I was there at it last night. I got home at 2. Man, I am so not used to going out like that anymore. It was fun. Saw a lot of people, had a good time, bullshitted, just enjoyed everything about it. It has changed. There is a younger atmosphere with bachata. So, it comes really with going with those flows. But other than that, I would say one thing, and this is my own personal opinion, I miss that heavy duty salsa, man. And it's more technical, bro. You New Yorkers got that. I get y'all have. That's just why New York right now is here, because it's technical. They dance. It's on two. It's proper on two, and it's just, you can see it. Here we have great companies that are doing well with it, but I think socially, it's our responsibilities now is to bring it back, because again, there's like maybe 3 or 4 events that really do really well with it, and this is outside of the clubs that you have consistently. So,
yeah, and it's interesting you say that, because I kind of had a feeling you would say that, because for me, my experience in LA, if many people didn't know, I go back as far when the LA Salsa Fest was at the tent.
Yeah, bro,
Near the
in
casino.
the Hollywood Casino. Yeah.
Yes.
And I remember that.
And for me, it was like seeing 2,000-3,000 people there sitting, watching you, whether you're a group from New York, a group from California, maybe a group from Italy. It was a different feeling. And when you talked about LA, and people have to understand, salsa was king in LA. When you went to LA, it was that. But I would say around 2012, 13, 14, even from California all the way to New York, I saw it when bachata started coming.
The wave,
Yeah, and for me, my personal opinion, I would say is, and I've talked to many artists, because realizing this, many of your favorite artists who are bachata dancers were former salsa dancers.
This is true.
And
there is a quote on this. I don't know if you know this, but they people say, if you can't make it in salsa, you do it in bachata. And that's kind of sad. That's I've heard this. It's sad that they say that, bro.
But, I mean, it has happened. I would say too is that with bachata, and I've talked to many artists behind the scenes of helping me understand, how is this quote of bachata is taking over? How is it really happening in front of me? And most of them have said, because most of the people, the attention span of many artists or many dancers, it's a lot easier for them technically to learn bachata than salsa.
It's man, honestly, it goes to the counting, bro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then in salsa, it's 1, 2, 3. There's a lot more, right? There's a lot more to this. You have to know musicality a bit more. I studied music as a young man, bro. I was playing violin for about 10 years. Nobody knows that, but now you all know. When I learned that, I learned musical composition. I understood what these guys were doing. Salsa is what I call a ghetto orchestra, because orchestration is being done in salsa. It's just ghetto. Okay, we're back.
Yes, we are back.
All right, awesome. That orchestration, bro. You have to be really good for salsa. Like musicians here are underpaid, bro. They know it too. They get pissed off, and it takes a lot of time, bro. A lot of the clubs, probably average paying a single musician $120, $150. And that's nothing, bro.
It's true, and the reason and everything you're talking about is hitting home for me, because I also realized, as the dancing grew from a predominantly salsa background to more bachata, now you got kizomba, zouk, you name it.
Ooh, those are hard, yeah.
Yeah, but I think also the biggest concern was the lack of appreciation and collaboration with musicians, with bands, because now you slowly the bands were depleting from events, and now the DJs were replacing them. And those bands that we love to hear, whether it's El Gran Combo, Spanish Harlem Orchestra, you name it, people.
They're expensive, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm about to say.
Let's be honest, like El Gran Combo, they had them here in LA. They're like $60,000, bro. Like you need to have some money. They're very expensive. Then you have to fly out. How big is their orchestra? You got to fly out 15 people, house them, feed them, ride them, transport them. I don't think a lot of people who go to events realize what these promoters do. So like,
Yes.
I have to give mad respect to all of the guys who work in the cities in LA and New York, all of them. You know who I like in New York? I went to his event one time, and he has a big name in New York, but I don't know if I'm being facetious and wrong, but his name is not big outside of New York. Is
Mhm.
Jimmy Anton. That social that he's had
Oh
that
yes,
has
that
been
yeah.
like 20 some years, dude.
Yes.
Like so long. I don't think he even travels out because he doesn't want to mess up his social because it's so
Mhm.
consistent. And that is, you don't have a lot of that here. You have a lot of young guys who are building that up. And,
Mhm.
that's kind of my aspirations now, is to have a nice, long run, consistent social, which you're going to have a good time dancing. If you want a club, they're all there
Yeah.
for you, I don't want that environment. I want, like, you better come get ready to dance your ass off, excuse my language, but
No, you can.
the best dancing that you've gotten, like San Francisco just happened. The dancing,
Yes.
incredible, all really good dancers from different parts of the world. And a lot
Mhm.
of people were from LA, bro. Let's be honest. Those are all really good dancers that went up there. So LA is full of great dancers, bro. And it's just get them all into the same room. I think that is the big problem, We have a lot of
Yeah.
people who are working, and it's lucrative money for them. So it's all understandable.
Absolutely. So, a question I have for you, and we'll kind of take it back of, like you said, your time with Granada, and something that I've always wanted to understand, especially from your side. For me, my introduction to Granada, seeing the visuals that were made when you were doing the Jack and Jill contest and all of these performances,
Yeah.
give me an understanding, or give us an understanding of what it's like being an organizer of an event. And we've talked about this as well privately, but
Right.
me understanding and being in shock, but helping people understand the totality of how much of yourself you have to give to have a successful event.
Man, dude, let me give you an example, okay,
Mhm.
of what I saw one of my buddies, Angel Vargas, and he's one of the three
Yes.
guys who does San Francisco, right?
Mhm.
I walk up to him and I'm like, hey, enjoy this. I gave him a big ass hug. And I had that look on my face Friday. Any promoter knows, like, they have this look. They just want it to be good because you are investing your money.
Yeah.
My time at Granada, bro, there was times, man, where we didn't make money. People don't get paid. These are
Yeah.
clubs that were struggling at that point. And now a lot of other places were going through this thing with COVID and getting it done. But as a promoter, bro, like the one example I use now is I'll ignore the crap out of you because I'm on my phone working on my social. Like,
Yeah.
texting, and you get your hands ache, and you're constantly having to deal with a lot of competitionary factors in cities. Like, for instance, next week in LA alone, dude, there is 7 to 6 major concerts on one night.
Wow.
I don't know why that happens. I think the organizers, I'm very blunt, man. I
Yeah.
contact organizers. People, they make fun of me online, whatever. I don't care. You're gonna know we're having an event. Come work. Let's have
Yeah.
all everyone together. That's hard, man, because it's a financial thing, and it's completely understandable. It's business. But what good does it do when you have so many freaking nice
Yeah.
events happening at once? Like India, Michael Stewart, all these
Wow.
all these people, and then you're just like, where do I go? Which one do I pick? So,
Absolutely.
man,
So, a question I have for you then, you working in your time in Granada, and I know you've seen so many couples and performances throughout your time. What are some of your most memorable performances that, just come off the top
man,
of your head?
damn. You know which ones I like the most? The low key ones, the ones that were
Mm,
really big names, but you didn't get a draw, and I didn't understand why. I was like,
mm.
but they performed their booties off. Jefferson and Anita one time, they
Yes.
were tired. They worked all day, and this guy did this trick where she, like, almost hits the floor. Bro, amazing. That one is still always in my head. We got Tropical Jam. I called them
Oh,
Tropical Graham. That was the most hilarious time.
wait, you called them that as an
Tropical
introduction?
Graham, bro. I was nervous. Fernando, man, is amazing. I've taken a lot of classes with him, a lot of the stuff in Vegas. I was fortunate enough to go to his club in Milan. Love that guy to
Wow.
death. and I was just really nervous. And it was the most hilarious moment I've ever done was that. What I've enjoyed lately, bro, is going to the individual congresses that have been amazing too. But most of the stuff that I worked for Ghana for over a decade, so of course you're gonna have a lot of memories there. But the one that sticks out also too is the time Benny and his young little partner, I forget her name. I recorded that video and I had it, and I looked at this kid like, you're just gonna grow up to be freaking amazing, and he, of course, he is, and it was just awesome, you know. And the last one I would say to you is we were lucky to have Rodrigo Cortes out here for a while, so
Wow.
they did a lot of cool I'm the Modest performances, and he trained a lot of the young good dancers here in LA who are working really hard and taking on to a whole new level. So there's a lot of good memories, man. The Jack and Jill with the pregnant girl, that one was hilarious. That was my
Wow.
ex-partner who helped, and other things that I think are memorable are just, you know, keeping it progressive in what things are going now. What I've seen in the bachata is really well. The people who are doing what they're doing there right now, it's amazing. So just keep it going, man. Whatever keeps this community going, keep it
Hmm.
going. You know, there's few and very little of us who are actually trying this, and now that I'm getting back into this, it's an uphill battle. It's humbling, and it's just got to keep it going, bro.
Absolutely. So I know, like I said earlier, that my introduction to you was through visuals of Granada. I would say, of course, years prior, pre-COVID, and then COVID happening,
Yeah, man.
and it really just changing our whole community. And I know that's where we connected as well. But
Yeah.
for me to kind of understand from your point of view, what were those moments like of
Damn,
having
man.
an event one day and then everything just changing the next?
You mean having a career?
Yeah,
Because you really think about it, like
yeah.
I've switched careers. I'm doing golf now. Like people don't know this. I'm working to get certified in golf. Golf. This is a good subject that I'm going to relate to later. But how was that transition? Tough, because dude, I had like nothing to do. I went from a traveling schedule, once a month, going places, constantly working, to nothing, to being at home. That's kind of where I did the streamcast, you know.
Hmm.
And once I started to kind of not get frustrated with it, more like I just got frustrated being home because
Yeah.
you're always home. I was like, I had an old pair of clubs in the back. Dude, that revolutionized my life, dude. And it has me where I'm at now. I get that tranquility from playing golf. It's a very competitive game, too.
Oh yeah.
And now coming back into the scene, it's competition for everything here. So it's right up my alley still. And again, it just makes me feel like I'm new to it again. But that was rough, man. And I'm not the only one. There was a lot of us here in the city who took some hits, man, and they lost a lot of money, didn't make anything for months, you know. And now they're coming back and they're doing good. And all the guys who were doing shows during the pandemic and the ones people were all pissed off at them, they're no longer doing events. So
Mm.
go figure. And you see me, boys. Where did you go? You know, there's a lot of
Hey,
talking trash, bro. You know, like, okay.
it's true because to be honest, people have to understand it's not easy running an event. Nevertheless, one that runs for over 10 years plus.
Yeah,
We
man.
understand most events, if you're lucky, you have a 1 year to 2 year window to see a
Yeah,
success rate, and then you'll know. Many people don't know this. And understanding is not just about, I got a good DJ, I got a good space. No, you have to have that relationship with the artist.
that's
But
true, man.
at the same accord, me being at one time a performer, now being a videographer working with organizers directly. I'm their media source. They tell me what they need.
Right.
We work
You're
in
important.
correlation. And for me, then talking to organizers like you, the topic that always comes up is the biggest pet peeves of artists to you, because we all know you have those artists that we all have those artists that give you headaches and just just the craziest things for me. And as you said, you were being honest, so I had to take it there in a sense. And I'm not saying names. I want to know from you, what have been the most just what have those difficult moments been like for you?
um, when they turn diva on you, you know, like when they get so demanding that you can't give them that. It's really their personality that shapes the relationship. because you could be the most talented person in the world, but be the biggest headache ever to deal with. And as an organizer, let's be frank, you're paying them and they're doing their work, but that doesn't mean you have to deal with their attitude. So that to me is a pet peeve for the attitude. And I'm a cool guy, bro. I can have fun.
Yeah.
I like to have, but I can be asshole if I wanted to be. I really can. I'm a blunt
Hey,
person. I'm very professional, but I'm not gonna deal with that. You know, people say I'm gonna complain. No, I'm just being very honest with you and telling you these things. The biggest pet peeve is that coming with a bad attitude to these events, because quite frankly, you're being paid, you're being exposed, and that is your money. That is your
Yep.
time. And do it right. Don't go to this damn event with the fucking sour puss on your head and be a total jerk or be mean that nobody wants to work with you. I have stopped working with people because of that, and I won't go back to that, you know. And now I have this whole different personality where I'm just, if it's an issue, man, I don't even want to deal with it. And at this point, one of the most important things I think that a lot of artists have to understand is, look, everybody respects your time and your effort. We all do. We completely respect your time and your effort. We like being in those environments with you when you're a great freaking performer, you're an amazing athlete. I call them athletes. Dancers are athletes.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are amazing people. But if you're a jerk, we live in the cancel culture right now. Go ahead and be a jerk and watch how quickly all of the organizers are going to say you're difficult to work with and you won't get gigs. It'll just for you. And that is my biggest pet peeve, bro, because I don't know, man. I don't know if you've done this, but I've invested to go to congresses and help my organizer friends and be there and watch them go through making money and not making money.
Yes.
And that is something that is humbling. My social had to compete with a lot of stuff in LA. Of course, I didn't make money, but everybody got paid and they had a good time, bro. The performers are going, you know, artists. I want to touch on this topic with you because I know you deal with this. It's the artist appreciates themselves, they'll appreciate everything else. So it's all about that attitude, man.
Absolutely.
And I think that is my biggest pet peeve with that. And it has literally ended relationships because of attitude issues. So, yeah.
It's true, because to be honest, I do agree, because the organizers have to understand everyone that works for this event has to be in collaboration, from the performers, the visual artists, the people who run the space itself. Everything needs to run smoothly because it alleviates the stressfulness that can come from being disorganized. Artists know when they go to a congress or an event, and they might not say it directly. He might say it. I'm sorry, I'm probably exposing some things because this is the time.
You're not wrong what you're gonna say. I already know what you're gonna say.
When we're not telling you directly, we're upstairs with everyone else having the same conversation about how shitty the event is. And we're here and we have to do a job and we have to come back down. But I also have to tell people is that with organizers and promoters, the best thing they can do is just be honest. For many of them, if you completely be honest and let everyone who's working within your event know your capabilities, limitations, what you're able to afford, what you're able to provide, that right there will alleviate, quote unquote, the bullshit in reality.
Yes. You are completely correct, bro. You are completely correct, bro.
And organizers have to understand is that, and this comes from my experience now being a media director in the Dallas Book Chapter Festival, is a lot of times congresses and festivals will book the quote unquote biggest names, but then don't realize why they didn't make money at that event was because you invited one big name that you felt was going to sell out this crowd, rather than if you brought more local people and more people in the surrounding areas that will bring their people. And there's a whole rabbit hole of just information that I've studied over the years, because in New York, we have tons of events. There's been so many successful ones, but there've been so many more that haven't succeeded. And I've worked with some of them and I've learned, because again, realizing you're dealing with money, when you're dealing with
Yeah.
money, it changes relationships, whether you like it or not.
Everything, bro. Contracts come into play.
When
Agreements,
contracts come into play,
dating
people act
schedules.
like babies. Like what? Like, you know.
I'm really good with my word and things like that. But in this environment, man, and listen to I'm trying to be nice about this,
Absolutely.
but in this environment, people could be inconsiderate,
Of
and
course.
it becomes very competition. And some people don't want to realize that even in our own city, like it's better to communicate and try to do it, but most people won't. It's all about that money, making it happen, which is fine, bro. Do your thing. Everyone works their own thing. Maybe some of us, like myself, are more opinionated, but most don't have the balls to say it. I
Exactly.
will. I
Exactly.
will tell you. That is one thing people know about me. That I am a very outspoken person, and excuse my language, I don't give a fuck because I am going to be honest. And the one thing I'm not going to fucking hide from is this. This is who you
Yes.
see, who it is. It's 110% all the time. And at that point, I think that has both helped me and also my downfall. But
Mm.
artists who come to LA and work with me, no, they're gonna get paid. I'm gonna treat you well, and we're gonna make it happen for you because I spent a decade doing this at
Yes.
that business, so I know what's going on already. And at the end of the day, bro, it all goes back to what we just said: the attitude, how you handle it, and how you work it, bro. I have to change the venues, man, because
Yeah.
the attitude of the GM was terrible. She turned off the song on the DJs, bro. I was
Oh
working and the
no.
DJs, oh my God, I had to snap. I was like, what is going on? I was like, adversity like a mofo today. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, you know what, adversity? We got you, homie, and threw some money at it and whatever. We're going to keep going. It's going. Rome wasn't built in a day, you know that term, right? It's true. Nothing that you do is going to start off amazing unless you really put that passion into it. And you see that now. I've been asked by people what is makes them successful in this industry. How do you do it? What do you do? Blah blah blah. I give examples of one friend of mine who's at the top, right, of
Mhm.
all this, and he's in your city, does Empire Mount, but he said it best to me.
Oh yeah.
It's my passion. And that's Adolfo. You know Adolfo.
Yes.
It's his passion. Quite frankly, that term, my passion, translates to everything. If you ask a good golfer, a good video person, a
Mhm.
good organizer, that's their passion. To me, this became my passion, the competitions, everything else. And now I'm just going to do it for myself in a more different way with a different approach. That's it.
It's
I'm
true.
like, yeah, I'm just moving on to something differently. And how you get better at this, how you get success is by having that damn passion. If you don't have it,
Yes.
if you don't eat, sleep, and crap it, like forget it. Go home. Don't do this. You want to be successful in this, you got to go out there and work hard. And you see a lot of these guys out
Oh
there
yeah.
working their booties off. You can see it, bro. And one of the guys who works hard and I love him to death. I hope he's right here listening. He's the biggest troll king, the biggest mouth I know. I thought I had him. I love that fool to death. Douglas. That
Yes.
boy works his booty off. And people don't look at that. Why? Because he's really good online. So all they see is the trolling, but they don't
Yeah.
see all of the things he does. This dude moves around everywhere, and he does it to invest in himself. Mad respect for that. Fausto Felix just opened a
Yes.
studio. That dude, I remember working with him prior to years back.
Mhm.
They were building themselves. Kingsmen are so amazing. But that, like he told me too, this is him and what he does, and it's that passion, bro, that's going to drive it forward. There's a lot of great guys in LA who are doing that. One of the good guys who I love in LA is Eder. He does Entourage.
Mhm.
His passion for what he's doing with On2 here in LA is amazing. Mario Gatica with Unified, same
Yes.
thing. It's if you want to get good at it, you got to have that. So I gave you examples of these guys because that's what they do and that's who they are. And they do so well at it, bro. I'm just gonna come back with my flair and focus on me. So
It's
that's
true. And
basically
it's
it.
interesting. We actually have a comment here. We'll figure it out who it is, but they say, when I presented a contract to a promoter, they told me, hold on, I'm going to recheck the date and get back to you. And he says, bro, I was like, what the F when they turned me off? And then he says, I thought it was the other DJ and was about to go off on him. And realizing too, and I tell people this, and I've learned this thankfully at age 30, but I've learned this a long time ago. A handshake agreement is not a contract. You have to have it signed, sealed, delivered, and
bro.
written and
Yeah, man.
read. How many times I've seen or spoken to artists that tell me how much their contract to do a certain event or somewhere was
Yeah, man.
bad, and they didn't realize it until after. When no, you just signed something because you wanted the quick fix and didn't realize everything that it entails.
A lot of that has to entail with the relationship too you have with the
Yes.
person. Because I've done a lot of work where I do have to sign a contract. People, we have that good relationship. But you are right, man. I have to admit this to you. And it's a new age now, you know?
And who actually
You need to
says
have that
that
contract, you know?
is DJ Amesqua. And for me, it's different experiences because, like you said, there are moments, there are people that you have that comfortability with, and hey, we
It's
understand
easy.
looking at
Yeah, it's
yes,
easier.
but there's other people that hey, we need to have this signed, we need to have this written out because I'm
It
going to avoid
happens,
any
bro.
issues. And
In any business, it's going to
like
happen,
you
you
said
know?
as well, you coming now through COVID and now coming back with your own event, you see the trials and tribulations, but
Yeah.
realizing too is that it's a growing process. If you were to stop now, that would just defeat the purpose of starting in the beginning.
Exactly. Boom. You hit that nail. To be honest with you, you better have this passion to continue or don't even do it.
Yeah.
You know, I should just go back to work at Granada and go deal with bullshit if I really wanted to, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm going to. They do what they got to do. I'm gonna do what I got to do, because quite frankly, Granada's one establishment. You know how many places here are doing events? How many people are working here? It's a blessing, bro. Like, I see it as a wonderful blessing for the cities. You don't get that in cities outside of Los
Mhm.
Angeles and New York. You know, like, we're lucky, bro. Let's just be honest about it.
Of
Could it be
course.
could it be counterproductive?
Oh,
Maybe,
absolutely. Absolutely. I think for
maybe.
me, and I tell people this through my lifetime thus far, of course, it's only 30 years, but we have to understand this is that human beings mostly are selfish. And we just, in totality, let's keep it
Yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah. You're
Human
right.
beings are
Yeah,
not complex. We're very simplistic. We just
right.
choose to complicate things. In
You ain't
reality,
wrong.
I've learned is that, and I've seen examples of organizers and promoters working together, and everything works. But I've also seen many instances of organizers trying to create an event this day because it'll quote unquote beat out the other competition. But in reality, the biggest issue was no, you just didn't create a relationship with your community. Because
Right.
again, your community is going to choose what they want to go to, what's more comfortable. In
This is
places
true.
like LA, in places like New York, I've seen people come from all over the world and talk about going to such and such socials because they've heard about it, but I've
Right.
also heard those experiences of them having a horrible time because those same dancers treat them like scum because they don't know them.
Uh,
And for me, it's just total honesty. I've been doing this since 96. I grew up in this. So it's a
you're
different,
not wrong. Yeah.
and it's
That's
more of going from the performer to the video person to the person who works directly with the organizer. All I've
right.
been doing is studying and understanding we're real world people. We go through struggles. We have gone through
Exactly.
COVID. Our dance community is much different than it was pre COVID.
Yeah,
Totally.
man. Yeah,
Because
man.
maybe the same people you remembered 2 years ago are no longer here. And we now have to
Yeah, man.
adapt to the situation. And for me, as I've talked to you and many others, it won't be easy. Me doing this podcast, I
No.
don't get paid for this. I do it because it's a passion. I film because it's a passion. Because I tell
Boom.
people I will never make filming a full time
Boom.
job because that is the day I will fall out of love with it.
Well,
Because,
once you turn it into the job like that, you're completely right. But if that happens for you, bro, let's be honest. You better be making a lot of money and
of
then suck
course,
it up, suck
but
it up, and do
I'll make money.
it.
But for me, it's like I've had those moments of people saying, "Hey,
Right.
we're willing to fly you place and place and place," but I say, "Hey, you know what? Let me hold off. Let me spend more time with my family because I'll have those moments to do it." But also, and now before we get into soon our last segment, something I wanted to bring up to you was you being an organizer and seeing the way you just tried to approach things. I've taken, a little bit from your playbook, and for me, I've taken it to the next level of now creating a collective, as I call, of visual artists, of organizers, of
Wonderful, bro.
dance
I've seen you,
events,
man. Make it
and
happen, bro.
for me, really all is about is I am now taking the excuse of we can't work together out of the equation, because I've talked to 20 plus brands and said, hey, I'm creating this. I am in conjunction with all of you. So now we can give people the example of, look at this. 2021, there is someone actually doing something. To be honest, when COVID
That's
hit and
awesome.
you were doing those COVID stories, it really helped, because not only were you just talking from your heart about what you're experiencing, you're bringing doctors, people in medical fields that are giving information. And I have to
And
give it
they're
up
in
to
our
you.
dance community, bro. Those
Yes.
people are all in our dance community. Educated as can be, bro. They're just in the background doing their thing, and they one of the doctors, the infectious disease doctor, she performed at the social, man. Love her to death. Text her all the time. The day I got COVID, I'm over here texting her like, Gisela, shit, oh my god, I can't taste nothing. My smell is gone. Damn it.
Wait, but was your stroke gone? Was your golf stroke? How was that? Okay.
Nah, that had hell nah. That's 100% right now. The damn golfing saved me, bro. The
Oh,
golfing saved my sanity.
that's
Kept my mind running. Because my mind was thinking so much about
yeah,
how much dance things I want to do.
yeah.
And you couldn't. You couldn't even go to the gym. You couldn't even, here in LA. I'm not. You guys are going through that right now with the new
Hmm.
variant, right? It's kind of getting real
Yeah,
strict over there, correct?
absolutely.
Here, bro, it's like the West. It's there's some places that don't care. And there's
Absolutely.
some places
Absolutely.
that care. But let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
99% of the places 99% of the places right now, what COVID? It's not there. Hell, people told me that I was an asshole because I was outspoken about this, and that's my
No.
karmic debt to this. Nonsense. Nonsense. You want to know why it's nonsense? Because there is a lot of people who are still not going out. And I
Yeah.
talk to them and they don't want to go out, bro. But there is also a big crowd that just goes out every day.
Of
So
course. Of
who
course.
who do you take sides with? I take sides with neither. Because as a person who has experienced COVID-19, let me tell you nothing. Let me tell you something. You don't want them mud butts. It's nasty. You don't want the aches. You don't want the smell problem you get after. You can't breathe. There was one moment, bro, where I was spinning and I had to sit back and just and do these like meditational
Yeah.
breathing and yoga work. For some stupid reason, yoga was like what was keeping me going, bro. It was really difficult, dude. It took me 6 weeks to get over it, bro. So do
Wow.
you think I'm gonna be all excited to watch what we were seeing in our community that we built?
Yeah.
No, you're gonna get very angry, bro. But now it's like it never happened, which is fine, dude. You're not gonna get rid of this. It's not gonna go away. Do your thing. But I guess it's up to the organizer, man, on how much precaution
Absolutely.
they want,
It's
and that's
true.
100% up to them. Do what you got to do. You know what? I'm back into this too. We had testing at our vet. We
Mhm.
wanted to make sure that at least we're trying to do something. One of the young men who's a field examiner here, his name is Alejandro Delatorre. That dude took it upon himself to do this. It helps him, and he's helping us. And you know what? If it's a benefit for everybody, why not try it? But to each their own, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have the one and only Eric Ordonez, all the way from the
Ah,
Atlanta area,
my
saying,
man, bro. Bro, I'm not the king no more, bro. I'm down, bro. I'm the court gesture right now. I need to build my way back up.
man, and
I'm
but
so humbled by I'm so humbled by him too, bro. Eric
yeah,
Ordonez, Rocket Man over there, Rocket City Latin
yeah,
Festival,
works for
everything
NASA.
else, bro. Everything that guy has done in the South right there, man. Y'all better. I'm going over there. People don't know this yet. Barely some people know. I'm going over there. It's my first time going back to the South. But his first few years, I hope you're watching, Eric. Tell them, bro, that guy had to work so hard, and he doesn't have to do this. People understand
Mm,
one thing about that man. He don't have to do this. He is a NASA scientists. I'm telling this will get us to Mars. Stop doing these congresses. Can we have colonies there now? We could do moon congresses or something. That man works so hard. And he's my friend, dude. I talk to him so often. I think I talk to him more than I talk to people here locally. Every freaking day I talk to that guy. This guy's a rocket scientist. I live in Rosemead, bro. I'm a club promoter, plays golf, bro. Talking to rocket scientists from NASA. All because he's the Latin dancer, bro. And that guy works so hard. You want to talk about passion? There it is. Because the first few years for his event, he knows this too. They were really difficult. They were hard. He built something, and now he's doing really good. And he's doing the playbooks that work. It's a facilitized thing that you have to have it or you don't. In his first few years, and I hope he's watching, tell him about how you used to drive 10, 12 hours just to go to one event and then drive right back. Dude, I've done crazy shit like that, bro, where you go and you go support of it. I recently went to Mexico to go support a buddy, and I stayed at an adjacent hotel, which was my mistake, and I left in the middle of the night. I got robbed by the Mexican police. The municipal police robbed my ass from my cell phone. I hope you hear me. Aquí estoy, right? He took my phone and I lost 3 years of information on my phone. Can you imagine how that has affected me, right? Oh my God. But guess what? Keep it moving, keep it going, because there's a lot more work to do. Like for my social, I got a lot more work to do, and I'm helping a lot of these guys because they help me along the way, bro. And people have to remember that. I think that's the one thing that irks me, bro. Is you got to remember where you came from before you talk about where you are now, because then people who really know people, like, bro, I can look at people and be like, come on, man. Like, don't you remember when you didn't do anything? I do. I appreciate it more now. And I hope people really see that. And one of the things I missed in LA dearly, bro, and a couple of these guys are doing it really good here, is more salsa. Straight up. I love bachata, but bam, do we need a freaking salsa kick here. Give me a dopamine shot, a mambo, whatever, because we need that more here. And the companies who do good here, they need to get more credit for what they're doing, bro. And no offense to you New Yorkers, you guys ain't the only one doing none of this.
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree.
A bunch of cities out there doing it, and I love y'all, but you ain't the only one. What has to happen is LA has to just plateau it up, because they're at the same level. They really are, bro. But the respect thing, I don't get it at times.
Yeah.
Western, it's like Biggie, Tupac, whatever. But they all do well. And it's up to us to expose it. You know, La Leyenda may be in New York, but everybody else is right behind you guys. And we are going to be there with you, because ain't nobody going to get dragged behind in none of this. And I deeply mean that from my LA community. So, yeah, I hope people are hearing that too.
Absolutely. And we're going to take it a little interesting now before our segment called The Randoms.
Hey, I told you to ask questions. I'm ready.
Of course. We got Anthony Ramos here asking, which places are those that don't care?
Okay, first of all, Anthony Ramos, I'm not going to answer that, because you know what you're doing, boy. You stirring the pot, baby. There are several places. He knows them. He goes there.
Oh,
it's not that difficult.
Also, as well,
next question.
I wouldn't say it's a question, but we have Giovanni Corona here saying LA has regional socials, one social in the West Side, i.e. OC, one in San Gabriel, one in the Valley. So actually, that brings me to a question, actually. So seeing what Giovanni has said here, from your many travels through California, you can choose to be biased. What is one of your favorite cities in California to dance
in? Okay. What does say city? Oh, you have to say event. Be honest.
Event.
Because you can go to a city and the city is not nice. Let's be honest, right? But they host some nice event. I have the privilege of gone to most of them. There's a couple that I haven't gone to, so I won't even give that opinion there. Let's just be honest. But each individual pets has his own flair. Like last night, I went to Stevens, bro. It's a club. Great time. Fun. Yes. Caught up with a lot of stuff. I go to Unified all the time. You know what you're going to get at Unified. Great dancing, great atmosphere, right? The years I spent to Granada, of course, you build that. You build those things. But there is clubs right now that I haven't gone to, because they're doing really good. And I will eventually get there. Yesterday, for example, we have this gentleman named Ralph who did the Gran Canario, or what's his name? El
El
Canario.
Gran Canario.
No, El Canario. What's I don't remember the guy's name, but El Canario, right? Amazing concert. They kicked butt, bro. And I've never been to that venue, but you just see it online, and it was awesome from what I saw. Have I been there? No, I haven't been there yet. There's a lot of things that have changed in this community because of the pandemic. There is a lot of socials that are really far. And honestly, it is like how Giovanni said. He's completely right. It is a regional thing. If you dedicate yourself to drive, you are driving maybe 1 to 2 hours to go to events, Blend, second Saturday of the month, been there. Those guys, I'm basically doing what they did. In their beginnings, it was rough, man. Now they're doing good. They're working their way up, right?
You're talking about Michelle Ramos and in that collective as well over there.
Yeah, those guys are all a part of that, a part of the clique that they have them there. It's Tad. Even Eric has a little finger in there. He's there. And they're all involved in that. And they've had to struggle to get to where they're at now. It's a process. There is new little small clubs in the city that do really good, and with the new young promoters. And I even be honest with you, I haven't gone to those things, but you just see them. My favorite ones, if I have to be freaking biased, and he knows I love going to his event, is the Unified one, because you're gonna get good dancing, and that is what wins. See, Eric, 3 years. Been 3 years. I think my Unified has been around for 5-6 years, a little bit longer than that. I'm at my adolescence and doing my own social. I had my first event competing against everybody. Of course, it's difficult. Is that going to stop me? Hell no. Am I going to keep going? Yes. But the most important part is I just hope people now really try to talk to each other more. Be more communicative. Just if I have to lead the way, I guess. But try a little bit, it's something that it would benefit everybody in those senses, because not everyone is going to agree. And by all means, do your events, man. Do what you got to do, because it's truly a blessing, bro, to have a city that can offer you so much.
Absolutely. And I think now it helps us transition to our last segment called the randoms, which is about 10 random questions. I'm gonna ask you, man. This is where it's gonna get a little crazy, but I hope you are ready for the ride. So
bring it.
All right. Number 1. What is your biggest pet peeve in a social dance?
Fuck, that's a good one. The biggest one that I don't like is when you're trying to dance with somebody who thinks they're so amazing, and then they give you this brush off attitude, and you're just like, what the hell? And I've been dancing for a long time, so I'm not gonna sound like I'm facetious, but like I had one of those dances recently. It was terrible. Connect, let go of his ego, dance together. Works with everyone. That's a love I got to death. At the end of the day, bro, connection is the most important thing when it comes to these dances. So if you don't do that, I don't want to dance with you. Get out of here. And a lot of that comes from training, learning to follow and lead, all that stuff. And that is my biggest pet peeve. Let's just be honest, bro. When I go dancing now, I am a bit more selective who I'm dancing with. But I'm down with, I'm willing to dance with everybody. I used to be mean, bro. I used to call it charity dances, bro. Where I used to just dance with anybody. And when I go to a new place, I just ask random people. It doesn't matter. And if she is not that good, I dumb it down to the point where she's a queen, bro.
Exactly.
And it helps me connect with this person. So that is one of the biggest pet peeves. I can't stand that.
All right. Number 2, let's hit it back to the social dancing. If you had, say, for instance, last song, amazing social you're at, you can choose one follow to dance with. Who are you taking out?
Like all time? Or
like all time. You got one person you can take right now.
Like right now? Like right now.
Right now.
They're not famous people.
It's okay. That's the perfect thing. I love it.
Damn, bro, that's like all time. Wow. There was this young lady, and I don't remember her last name. Her name, I think, is Michelle. Oh no,
Mhm.
Sarah. Damn, she used to be an LA person here, bro. That girl was amazing. And this was the Steven Steakhouse days when it was the Tuesday Night Madness, man. You didn't arrive to Steven Steakhouse until about midnight. And there, everybody was very, very skilled. That woman, man, that woman was fire, bro. And I still remember that one particular dance. So, yeah.
Okay.
I
All
don't
right.
remember her
Perfect.
last name, bro. I just remember Sarah. This really nice person. And yeah, man, that woman just it it was a complimentary dance
Mhm.
where she let go of all of the things and let you lead, but very creative, and it was amazing. No, bro, I don't remember. No, she did. He's no.
He
It's
said, no,
farther.
no.
Not her. It's dude. She was before all these damn people, bro. And yeah, that woman was amazing, bro. So, yeah,
All right.
that those
Perfect.
was one of the highlights. That was a good question, dude.
Of course, I'm gonna throw another one at you. We're gonna keep it dance related a little bit right now. If right now you can close your eyes and open them, you could be at one event right now. What would it be?
Ooh. Hmm. You know which event has my heart, man? That I went for several years, and I have all my friends there, who are my European friends, is the Berlin Congress, and it's one
Oh,
particular guy who I met as a kid. In my first travels, I met him in Barcelona. His name is Andrew Atkins. I don't know if he sees this, but we were friends, and I stupidly didn't listen to him for years when he kept telling me to go to this event that they're working. And this is the beginning stages of the Berlin Congress, and I was like, oh, whatever, I gotta work. Social media comes because this is pre like I think this is the first years of Facebook because I remember getting
mm,
Facebook in London. This is that wave. If you watch the transition of how this came, they
yeah.
took Facebook to Oxford, and I met a bunch of Oxford heads, and they're like, "Do you have Facebook?" I was like, "MySpace." I was like, "What? Huh? What are
Yeah,
you
we
talking
remember
about?"
when MySpace was king with Tom
Exactly.
and
But then that's when them dudes came over, and then I got a Facebook. Anyways, I met that guy. Years later, I ridiculously went over there. I was like, "Holy shit!" The organizer is Frank. Is a man named Franco. Crazy ass dude. Love him to death. Workhorse. You want to talk about workhorse? That man taught me so much. And I would go to these events to do their backstage with headpieces on, with them talking in German, and I didn't understand anything. Alex, 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 go to the back, go to the back. Okay, Dude, I had to like sprechen say Deutsch very quick, bro. Like
yeah.
it was, like it was. And that event, I haven't been there in 2 years, bro. I want to go back.
Okay. All
He's
right.
in Let Me MC now. Finally, I'm like, oh my
Hey,
god. So yeah. You want to pick an event? It's that one.
got you. All right, let's do a softball one really quick. Favorite color?
Red.
Love it. All right.
Fuck you. Oh, that's so cute. Well,
That
add
was a
some
soft.
betters. Don't give me
Of
colors right
course,
now,
I
baby.
have to throw a softball here and there. All right,
Okay.
I believe that's number 4.
Four.
So number 5 is of all time. Oh, let's go since you've had much experience with having events, organizing or hosting. Can you give me one performance you remember that just everything went to shit?
This weekend, we
Oh my
had the
god,
kids.
oh god.
We had the kids, and it was a musical whatever. But the guy fixed it immediately. But the worst one, shit. Wow, that was a good one. Hmm.
You don't
I would
have to
have
say
to
their
say
name, of course, but
I'm
you
not gonna
know,
say their names,
yeah.
of course. I'm gonna have some respect for that too. But I would have to say one time where I saw a bachata performance and the partner walked off all pissed off. I'm not gonna say their name. Don't work with this person no more. But that was so unprofessional, and I've never witnessed that before. It was just like wow, you know. I was
Mhm.
left stuck, and you did this in front of everybody. So that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And you're a paid professional, and
Mm.
and most people don't know this. I have a ballet background.
Wow.
I performed in college. one time, because the first time I had to do it, I tore my freaking calf.
Oh,
So I tore my calf. I couldn't perform the first year. And I was so angry that I went back to make it happen the next year. And I could literally say I performed from my college in ballet. It was awesome, right?
hey,
But in that culture, bro, what they showed me was a performance or a stance
yes,
is done freaking correctly. What they did that day pissed me off, because that showed me that you need to know who you're hiring, and they need
oh,
to be
absolutely,
professional. And this is what our land culture needs: the professionalism, bro.
yep,
Step that up, man. Like, we can be assholes and dicks all you want, but work hard at it. Step up your game like that, and especially performers, man. I like to perform. I've done it several times, but that's not my calling no more. I want to do it. My calling is
yeah.
to present this stuff, present you, bro. But if you do it wrong, that's not my fault. So yeah.
Totally understand. All right, next question is somebody says, "Hey Alejandro, I'm coming over to Rosemead. I want to get some grub. I want to get some food. Where are you taking me?"
Where am I taking him? To Valley Boulevard, where all the Asian food lives. And one of the Asian people who live here say that this little street is better than their countries that they've gone to. They have
Wow.
spicy styles. Oh my! I'm a spicy food person, bro. Sichuan noodles, all these things.
Ooh.
Hot pot. Oh, bro,
Oh,
amazing. Hell, at the social where we had this little Asian restaurant, who the lady was, it was really good soup from this Gillian style noodle stuff.
hmm
Yeah, there is no, dude. You're gonna come. I've always brought people here to Asian locations because my neighborhood is full of amazing Asian restaurants. So yeah, that
Okay.
one,
All
no
right.
problem.
Next one we're gonna go is another food question before you hit some other questions. Is if you could have one last meal right now,
Damn,
what would it be?
in and out.
Hey, animal style, or we going
No,
regular?
no, grilled onions, lettuce only. Boom, with extra
Ooh.
spread, the pepperoncinis and ketchup and all this. I used to work for In and Out, so I figured out all the bullshit. They're so good. The
Oh,
front
all the
front chuck
bullshit.
burger, yes, because what they do for their hamburger is so rare. And they're Republican. This is why I don't like the Schneider family.
Ah,
You hear me?
gotcha.
Okay. It's really good because they don't freeze the meat. They use only the
Mm.
front part of the cow, and everything's really, really fresh. So they'll vote. There's been a big question: is Whataburger better than In-N-Out? All these places,
Mm.
Five Guys. I'm sorry, In-N-Out still wins. So call my
Hey,
bias.
I'm a big fan of In and Out myself, so I definitely agree
With
with
the
that.
chocolate half vanilla shake,
Oh,
baby. Mmm.
well, I'll say this: don't have that before tech rehearsal or before a show.
No, you'll be having the shits if you do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, number 8 goes like this. Alejandro, when things are really said and done, years from now, when you're in a new phase of your life, how would you like people to remember you?
As a crazy ass mofo who always spoke his mind and never really was fake. Because the one thing I hate is being fake. And
Mm.
I'm not fake. I will love and talk shit to you and argue with you for days, but deep down inside I still care about you. That is me in the freaking nutshell. And you are going to remember that about me. And that's it. And those who know me, don't eat the edibles I give you.
Oh my god. All right,
Yeah.
next question here. Let's see what answer I get. It's a true or false question.
No, go for it.
The San Francisco Giants are the best California baseball team ever. Wow, what is oh, the Dodgers. Got you, got you.
I'm not
Wow.
even going to answer that. I'm just going to go ahead and drink from my cup.
I mean,
You were
hey,
saying?
that the San Francisco Giants are better than the LA Dodgers, true or false?
We beat them recently, right?
Mm.
In this last
This
series, we won and we lost. So
hey, I just had to check in temperature there. Wait,
you know
and
what? And I went to San Francisco recently. Okay,
but
originally
thank you,
from
Eric, for
The
saying.
Brooklyn Dodgers. It's okay though. Hey, hold on. There you go. That's enough.
All right, our last question
You
now.
make it a hitter, baby. Let's
I'm
go.
telling you. I want you to tell me what is the biggest thing besides communication? What's the biggest change you want to see in your community? And I'm talking about the nitty gritty, something you've seen over the years that has just been totally just like, what the fuck? And it's like, hey, we're coming into a new age of things. Like you said, we have a new community than we've
I
had in
got you.
previous years.
I got you. And this is actually my goal with the social. Excuse me, LA, if I say this and offend you guys, but I feel that the social dancing level was here and it went like this. Why does that upset me? Because there is people now who are older in their 30s and their 40s. No, Anthony's one of them too. The cliche, right? No cliches. No. I don't care about that. Most people, you're either going to go to the club or you're going to go to the social. The club tries to be the social. I know this. I was a part of that. But the club will never be the social. You want to know why? Because the clubs don't focus on the social dancing. They focus on the money, sell the alcohol. What I've seen is before, bro, dancing in LA was really good, man. Like, you had to know what's up. You need your game. You needed to dance. Bachata kind of dumbs it down, but there is a high level of bachata. So anybody who says that it's easy doesn't know bachata.
Exactly.
They don't know all the damn styles that go with bachata. Urban, Dominican, sensual, whatever it is, it's good. But this is where you get regional events that specialize more on dancing. That's what I'm doing with this event. I want to build that. I have to build it from the ground up. I can't stand how that has changed. And I come from an era, bro, where Tuesday nights was the best dancing night. Literally. Freaking Tuesday was epic, bro. And now, it's not the same, And look what he said, diversity and inclusive, right? Look what he said right there. It's true. And I'm pretty sure other cities deal with this too. But you're not Los Angeles. One of the big things I say about LA, and people know this is a hard market, bro. It's not easy, dude. Like, this place ain't for the weak. This is the West in some senses, right? This is New York for the weak?
Not at all. Not at
right. Like, you gotta walk there more, right? You walk over there in New York, y'all walkers and shit.
I would say this, even to add on to that, what people don't understand is people come to New York specifically a lot of times just to train.
Yes.
And nothing is worse that I've seen. Many people know what social this is. But imagine going to a social that you have really, really good dancers, don't get me wrong. But imagine performing and people literally looking at you just doing this. No
bro.
facial, no expression.
I've been to New York. I've seen that. You guys are elitist and very difficult at times. But it comes from a really hard attitude of training and dancing. It's both the negative and both the bad thing. Okay, let's be realistic. Social dancing wise, though, you guys are really good at it. Okay, be realistic, because it's this environment. People now in LA are doing that, and it's not to talk down about. I'm not gonna completely trash my city, because they are doing really good at it. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
But I think there's been a takeaway from that in the last 10 years. I'll be honest. Don't blame bachata, but like I said to you, there's a high level of it. But there could be a better focus on that. You need to grow this community versus trying to just keep it little tiny thing, And that is an important thing to understand. If we're gonna change the community, start from the bottom, man. Train people, get them better at social dancing. Do it freaking correctly. Teach on 1, teach on 2, whatever.
Correctly.
I think you should be teaching on 2. You want to know why she's teaching on 2? Because it's global. It went fucking berserk. Excuse my French.
Yes.
It went berserk. Teach what is relevant and hot. Bachata on 2, teach it. On 1 is a good base, but it's not heavily danced anymore. And I don't care if the LA people are getting mad at me for saying this. That's the reality. At the end of the day, focus on those things. I think we'll do great because my city does not have a problem with events. That's the number one thing you're
Oh
gonna love
no,
about LA. You
there
ain't
is
got a
no
problem with
problem.
events here, huh?
No, when you have
Whatsoever.
7 events in one night, you have no problem.
We
You
have
may have
no
a problem.
issues there.
You may have a problem with scheduling, but you
Yeah,
have no
that's
problem with.
probably it. But I think a lot of that too, bro, it diminishes the hardcore dancing. I'm a purist at
Yeah,
that, you know, and I feel that that's one thing that I want to work on bringing back. And there is a lot of guys now who are doing that. Support them, push that envelope, and just really hope that LA gets that credit it deserves for things outside of clubs and the thing because we have a lot of great dancers here, man. So many amazing
yeah,
people, bro. And you play second fiddle to certain things like that. Trust me, second place ain't gonna be second place for a long time no more, bro.
it's true.
Silver don't last long because gold, if once you mess up, they're gonna
Yeah,
come for you, and that is an environment that is healthy competitiveness.
hmm,
But I think it's important for the city to just step on its own and do what they got to do, man. And all my
absolutely,
love to all those guys out there. You guys know I'm gonna support you coming at this hard, but we have to make it happen, and especially for salsa.
absolutely. And I thank you, Alejandro, for doing this segment. I always love doing it at the end, kind of getting some levity within a conversation. But now
Wonderful
it helps
structure,
us
man.
transition to our conclusion. And like I've told many guests and many people that I love what my guests is that I always feel like our conversations, especially the first one, are more like parts, like a part one, and hopefully to more parts. And I'd love to
We can
have you
talk more
on.
later, man.
Oh,
Whatever you need,
absolutely.
I'm here, bro.
Absolutely.
Let's get into the nitty gritty. Could give me up in a couple months. I'll tell you more how things are going here.
Yeah.
The city is going good right now. The city's getting back to normal, and I really hope you guys in New York too keep pumping, man. Keep going. Set the standard, bro. Set the standard.
That's true. And at least before we do go, if you have any last few words for myself and the audience.
I would say for you, keep it going. What you have
Yes.
done with this podcast is a blessing. Your passion, we see it. Keep it going. Sometimes things are difficult to keep going. Do
Mhm.
as much as you can. Family first. Do what you got to do, but keep this going, man. You you revolutionize this aspect, and it's giving people a voice. Like myself and other artists who you brought on. You're gonna have a great lineup for this month too. Let all these guys express what they got to do. For our community, man, just dance, enjoy yourself, do what you got to do. Communicate if you want to, if you don't, whatever. But at the end of the day, pick up the dance. Make more of the dancing part. Support these performers and these teams, bro. They need that love because if not, you're gonna go to clubs and you're not gonna have good dancing, bro. And that is
Yeah.
what drives me nuts, man. Like to be honest with you. And it shouldn't only be bachata. It should be salsa. It should be everything. It should be a big plethora of everything. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Absolutely, man. And I would say, lastly, from our conversation from start to finish, I've enjoyed every moment, even the conversations we have privately, so much
Oh
that
man,
you've
love it,
taught
man.
me and helped me on. And again, I appreciate you. So having a platform like this, that for me, again, it is growing. It's a passion of mine. Having people like you on is why I do what I do. And
And no,
it's been
thank you, bro. You're
abs-
you're inspiring all of us, man. And just keep the flow, man. Do this as long as you want to, and as long as it allows you to, because you
abs-
are doing really good with this. And just keep it flowing, man. And you're gonna have great. You're gonna have Douglas on. You're gonna have those. I'm
I'm
gonna
a,
be tuning in for that one.
I just say this.
I want mad beef on that one.
I got Douglas on that one, but I got a very special guest that I think was on the comments coming in February. So we'll see about that as well.
Oh, snap.
Yes.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
got we got things cooking, but I thank you. This has honestly been a very, very special episode
Thank you, man.
164 with the one and only Alejandro Delatorre. Everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Thank you, Alejandro. And
Thank you,
everyone, you can
brother.
catch this episode on YouTube, Facebook, and soon be on Spotify and other streaming platforms. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Stay safe. See you later.